Today, I'm sharing 7 common money mistakes that I see people make in their careers, at their jobs, and at their companies. Full transparency, I didn't make this list out of thin air. I am guilty of 7 out of 7 of these mistakes that are on the list. Now, I want you to know that I made these mistakes when I was working a job that made less than $30,000 a year, as well as when I was in a 6-figure tech job at Google. But that's changed because that is all in the past and I've changed my old ways, and I want to make sure that you avoid making these mistakes as well. So it doesn't matter how much you make, where you work, what industry you're in, what you got to know is that there are ways you can be strategic and proactive with your finances. The goal that I hope you have for yourself is financial security so that you don't have to rely on your job for the rest of your life. For those new here, welcome. My name is Lissa and I am a financial counselor and the founder of Wealth for Women of Color. My goal is to make financial education more accessible. So if that sounds good to you, don't forget to subscribe. So like I mentioned earlier, I used to work at Google and I was lucky to enjoy all of the perks and benefits that came from working at a big tech company like Google. But what I want to point out about that is that smart people and people who make higher incomes still make money mistakes just like everyone else. They just have more money to make mistakes with. So regardless of where you are in your career, make it a point to continue learning about personal finance. Because if you can't manage money now, how are you going to manage money when you're a millionaire or a multimillionaire? Am I right? All right, let's jump into that list. The first money mistake to avoid at your job is not understanding your paycheck. Everyone loves payday and everyone loves getting that direct deposit into their bank account. But how many of you actually look at your pay stub? If you do, I applaud you because I definitely didn't in the past. I used to ignore all of the things on my pay stub and then I would just be confused later if the amount on my paycheck ever changed. Granted, pay stubs can be annoying as f. Sometimes they don't make it easy to read. I'll give you that. But I want you to know that there are multiple reasons it's super important to understand your paycheck calculations. So let's go over a couple of those now. Number 1, you want to understand your pay stub to check for any errors. Payroll people are good with numbers and so are machines, but they're not perfect. You want to make sure that there's nothing funny going on in your paycheck and more is being deducted than should be. Number 2, you want to understand what you're actually paying for and make changes as needed. So your paycheck has important information about your earnings, your taxes, and your deductions. This includes things that you're required to pay, but also things that you opt into, like retirement contributions and various employer-sponsored insurance policies. When you understand what these numbers are, you can make better decisions as to what things need to stay versus what things need to change. Number 3, you also want to understand your pay stub to track your overall income for tax purposes. Every year you have to file income taxes, and this is especially important if you have other sources of income because you have to do better planning around your tax withholdings to make sure that you're not going to owe a big bill at the end of the tax year. Moving on to number 2, the next money mistake to avoid at your job is missing open enrollment. Open enrollment is a specific period of time when employees can make changes to benefits elections, such as health insurance, dental insurance, and vision insurance. Now remember how we were just talking about your pay stub? Well, a lot of your open enrollment elections, the things that you opt into, are directly tied to what you're gonna get deducted from your paycheck. There are quite a few of these that are actually optional. So while I think you should definitely utilize the plans and the benefits that make sense for your life and that you're gonna use and that are advantageous to your situation, you should still understand what your options are and review them on a yearly basis to make sure that you're picking the right policies and benefits. The last thing you want to do is be paying for something that you don't even need and don't even use. Here are some things to know about open enrollment. Open enrollment typically occurs once a year. Some employers might offer more frequent open enrollment periods, but you want to check with your company to know exactly when that's going to be. The other thing is, for many companies, it usually happens towards the end of the year, around November, but it can vary. So again, make sure you know when your company's open enrollment period is. Another thing to know is that during open enrollment, you can either enroll in benefits for the first time or you can make changes to your current benefits. You also have the opportunity to make these changes or add new things if you have a qualifying life event, such as getting married or having a child, and that can typically happen outside of that usual once a year open enrollment period. And last thing to remember about open enrollment is this is when you can add or change your beneficiary designations. Your beneficiaries are the people that you want to leave stuff behind to if something were to happen to you. Now, we hope nothing will happen to you, but you have to know that this is one part of estate planning, is to designate your beneficiaries on certain accounts and insurance policies. Moving on, the next money mistake to avoid at your job is not taking advantage of really good benefits and perks. I'm guilty of not utilizing more benefits and perks, including when I was working at Google. I'm very aware that I got a lot of these perks working at a big tech company, but many established companies have their offerings as well. So make sure you check and find out what benefits and perks are available to you. For me, my biggest regret is not simply learning about things sooner, like an HSA, a health savings account, or a Roth 401k. Now, those two in particular are savings and investment vehicles that aren't offered by all companies and might not be the best fit for everyone, but at the very least, you should know what is available to you so that you can decide if it's something that you want to take advantage of. Think about it like this. Your job not only pays you in compensation, like a paycheck, but also in the benefits that they provide you. So if you don't know what those benefits are and you don't take advantage of them, you might actually be missing out on some great value and technically be underpaid. All right, this one's a good one. Number 4, a money mistake to avoid at your job is chasing a raise or a promotion. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe you should provide some value to your company. That's what you're getting paid for. But I also believe the more value you provide over time, the more you should get paid. Over time, you are growing your experience. Maybe you're even upskilling in certain areas. So the impact that you have on your company should be growing exponentially. Working towards a raise or promotion is great, but I differentiate that from chasing a raise or a promotion. When you're doing that and you're chasing is usually what happens when a raise or a promotion is a moving target. Sometimes your manager and your HR department or higher ups want to promote you and give you a raise, but a lot of times there might be excuses like budgets are too tight, or someone else performed better than you, or maybe they just want to see a little bit more from you. I think all of that is fine, but to a degree. For your own situation, you're gonna have to gauge when you're going from earning a promotion and working towards it to chasing one. So on that topic, if you want to get paid more or work for a promotion, here are some tips. Number 1, talk to your manager and ask them, what is the path to getting a raise or a promotion? You want to get a gauge on what is expected of you and what that timeline can look like, because you want to understand, does that fit into your plans and what you want for your career and finances? Number 2, with your manager, create a game plan. What are you going to work on? What's expected of you? And how are you going to get there? This is your insurance policy, so that when you follow up on that raise or promotion later, you're going to point to this and say, here's what we discussed that I was going to do. I did all of it and I exceeded all of it. Where's my raise or where's my promotion? And the last tip kind of related to that is to track metrics. Track everything that was agreed upon in your journey towards a raise or a promotion, focusing primarily on the impact you have on your company, on your team, your department, and on the projects that you work on. This way, when you have follow-up conversations about how much work you're doing and how great you're doing, you're not just gonna have a laundry list of items that you've done and that you've completed. You're gonna have that laundry list plus the impact all of those things had on your company's bottom line, or on your team, or on the projects that you're working on. So like I said earlier in this video, this is about being strategic and proactive. If you want that raise or promotion, be strategic about it. Don't just go trying to chase it and have a moving target that you can never get to. Because, and this relates to moving on to number 5, you don't want to burn out. Burning out is a major money mistake, because if you're burnt out, your production capability goes to shit, which prevents your ability to make money. For those who aren't familiar of what burnout means, it's kind of a broad term, but it can be defined as a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged or excessive stress. So burnout tends to happen when your physical and your emotional energy is completely depleted and you're no longer able to focus, you can't be productive, you don't feel good. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I have fallen victim to all of the mistakes on this list, and burnout is one of those for sure. For me, it was in relation to number 4 on this list, which was trying to chase that next promotion and that raise. I was working really hard to try to get there, and that target kept moving. It took years and years until I realized I'm burnt out. I can't work anymore. And it's because I was overworking and didn't see anything in return. So if you think you are burned out or you're on a path towards potentially burning out, then I would recommend incorporating habits and practices in your life that can help prevent burnout. Here are some examples. Number 1, setting boundaries, not only in your personal life, but also at work. Number 2, don't just incorporate self-care into your life, but prioritize it. Make it a daily practice. Make time to enjoy the things that bring you joy. Number 3, getting professional help. This can range from a therapist or a career coach or a life coach. If you utilize support resources and professionals, they can help you navigate different aspects of your life and your career to prevent burnout and to help you get that raise and promotion, and simply just to help you succeed. Think of it as an investment in yourself. All right, quick intermission. Before I hit the last 2 money mistakes on this list, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps out my channel, and I just want to help more people like you. Number 6 on the list, a work-related money mistake that I made was not diversifying stock. Now, this might relate to you if you get paid in company stock, or if you simply love and support the company you work for and you purchase stock in your company. So as a financial counselor, I have seen a lot of people fail to diversify their portfolios because they are heavily invested in the stock of their own company. This can happen for a lot of reasons, such as people don't invest in general, so they don't even know how to sell it or diversify it if they do get paid in stock. And sometimes people simply have an affinity to their company. They believe in their company, they believe it's gonna do well, so they don't wanna sell those shares. Now, before you make any changes to your portfolio, make sure you understand tax consequences of buying and selling assets. But what I want you to know is that owning your company stock is no different from investing on your own. You should never put all of your eggs in one basket. Diversifying your holdings is going to always minimize your risk. All right, last thing on the list, work-related money mistake to avoid is being dependent on one source of income. For me, for most of my 20s, I was just under the impression that one job and one source of income was gonna be enough. For me, I was like, how else could I have another source of income? I spend so much time working. I don't wanna work more on my nights and weekends. I don't have time or energy for a side hustle or to start a business. On top of that, for me personally, working at Google, I had some rose-colored glasses. I figured that it was a tech company, it was gonna keep growing and growing. I'd never have to be afraid of getting laid off, and why would I ever choose to leave? All of these, I would say, are valid thoughts, but they were not aligned with my need for financial security. It came down to a time that I almost got laid off that kicked me into gear. I was given a heads up unofficially by my HR rep that my department was gonna be downsizing, specifically my position, which was gonna mean that I would be out of a job. So I freaked out and I realized that I was gonna be in financial shambles if I lost this job. I had just bought a new car and financed it. I had a mortgage to pay, and I was actually applying for other jobs, but it wasn't looking great. I didn't think I was gonna be able to replace my salary if I got laid off. So lucky for me, I ended up not getting laid off, that is until 6 years later, but that almost layoff is what kicked me into gear to realize that I do not want to rely on this one source of income, this one job, for my security. So about a year later, I started a business which eventually became profitable, and I definitely at the moment don't make as much as I used to, but I intend to eventually replace that income and more. So how do you start your next source of income? Ultimately, you want to start small. Simply start thinking about it and taking small actions. So here are some examples. Number 1, start investing. It might not seem like it now, but when you invest in assets, you're helping your future self by building wealth in the long run. Your portfolio might not grow enough right now to call it income, but you do have to start and let time run its course because compound interest is your friend. Number 2, you can dedicate time towards your next source of income. Can you work on something for 1 hour a week? You can spend this time brainstorming what route to take. Do you want to create something that's going to provide passive income in the future? Or do you want to go all in starting a business on the side? Do you have a current skill or a hobby that you can monetize temporarily to help get your financial foundations in place? Or do you have extra money sitting around that you can invest in another business or an asset? There are a lot of things you can do if you can just dedicate a little bit of time to it every week. Number 3, you can consider real estate. Now, of course, the barrier of entry to real estate is high, and it typically takes a lot of money to start out. Can you spend time now learning about how it works and saving or investing towards purchasing your first property? Overall, if starting your next source of income isn't something that you have the time and energy for at this moment, then at the very least, work towards ensuring that you have an emergency fund. This is going to protect you if you only have one source of income that provides your financial security. And don't forget, you can check out my video, which is a complete guide to emergency funds up here. I hope that sharing these 7 money mistakes have been insightful and can help you in your own career and your overall wealth journey. Until next time, peace out.